I am Damonous. Jesus is my king. You are my family. Hello, I am Damonous. It is December 13th, 2017. One day away from the United States premiere of Star Wars: The Last Jedi. And maybe no better time than now to ask the pertinent question: where's the $4 billion, George? If you remember, back in 2012, when he sold his entire franchise, Lucasfilm, Star Wars, Raiders of the Lost Ark, all these properties, he said he was going to give it, most of it, away to charity. I think especially in today's climate, where everyone is questioning charity. For example, President Trump. This video is not about President Trump, but he has been questioned quite a bit for his charitable expenditures and statements. For the Hurricane Harvey, he chose to donate money. He's currently donating his entire salary. And yet we have articles, even before the election, searching for evidence of Trump's personal giving. I think it's only fair to ask someone who supposedly was going to donate near $4 billion to charity, where is the money? Donating Star Wars billions will make George Lucas one of the biggest givers ever. This is November 4th, 2012, Forbes magazine. Now, after selling the mega franchise to Disney for $4.05 billion, Lucas is preparing to give back in a big way. In a statement released to The Hollywood Reporter, a Lucasfilm spokesperson said that once the sale is final, the Hollywood billionaire will donate most of the haul to charity. And we have plenty of proof that Lucas actually did sell it. Disney buys Lucasfilm for $4 billion. This is USA Today on October 30th, 2012. We know Disney's releasing the films. That's without question. Disney took ownership of these properties. According to WealthX, Star Wars creator George Lucas had about $1.4 billion in cash investments and other assets before the deal. That didn't include the value of his private companies, which included Lucasfilm, which he also sold. As first reported by CNC's Julia Borston, Disney is paying $4 billion for Lucasfilm and its related companies. Fully $2 billion of that will be in stock, and $2 billion will be in cash. Since Lucas never sold the stakes in his companies and never took venture capital money, he gets the whole check. The deal will bring his net worth to $5.2 billion after taxes, according to WealthX. That's more than even the most avid wealth watchers expected. Before the sale, Forbes estimated Lucas' net worth, including his company, at $3.3 billion. The only thing we really saw major as far as a story a couple years ago, December 2015, was when George Lucas made a little bit of a splash in an interview with Charlie Rose, saying that he stole Star Wars to white slavers. Now, even before the sale went through, back in 2010, there's a big deal about all these billionaires signing the Bill and Martha Gates pledge to donate half of their wealth. And, this is August 4th, 2010. So Lucas was one of them. And if we look at the other figures on here, are these guys, when did these guys donate half their wealth? Last I checked, they still have the billions. If you do a search, where did Lucas donate $4 billion to? Or if you just say, what did he donate to? What has George Lucas donated to? You really get all these same articles pointing back to George Lucas will donate Disney $4 billion to education. George Lucas donating most of Disney's $4 billion to charity. George Lucas sold Lucasfilm to Disney for $4 billion and donated. But the interesting thing is these are all articles from 2012. No recent articles talking about the billions of dollars. Wouldn't a $1 billion donation to some charity, or even a $500 million donation, be a big deal in the news? I like this because there's some people who actually ask the question. No one knows. How much money has George Lucas given to charity? One answer, No idea. He would be the one to ask. That's true. I mean, really, I'm doing this video to maybe spur someone to find out. Someone needs to find out. Where is the money? George Lucas Family Foundation donates an additional $10 million to USC. What they say in here is to donate an additional $10 million. This new endowment raises the foundation's total donation to $20 million. That's a good chunk of change, and it's awesome charity. But it's a long way from $4 billion. Inside philanthropy. George Lucas and his wife, Melody Hudson. Net worth, $5.2 billion. Unfortunately, I can't get a date on this article, but here again, it seems like it's well after that sale, because it's talking about him very focused on building the Lucas Cultural Arts Museum in Los Angeles, which he plans to spend $1 billion on constructing and endowing. This is his website, the George Lucas Educational Foundation, edutopia.org. I don't doubt that he's donating money to charity. I'm just trying to put the feet to the fire here and say, where's the $4 billion? Where's the $3 billion? $2 billion? Microgiving.com. George Lucas Foundation. Billionaire is big on charity. Now, this article goes about his history of giving. And this talks about 1991 setting up that educational foundation. In 2005, giving to the MLK National Memorial, the University of California gifts. He donated $180 million to the school to expand the film program. That's a big chunk of change. And then he talks about the Lucas Cultural Arts Museum, which is not yet built. In 2013, he announced his plans to establish a museum in San Francisco, giving assets worth $1 billion, but it's really talking about memorabilia from the films. He plans to fully fund the construction and endow it. More from Inside Philanthropy, nostalgic yet modern, behind the George Lucas Family Foundation's latest give. Upon reading recent news that his foundation gave $1.5 billion to the Stockbridge, Massachusetts-based Norman Rockwell Museum, I wondered if George Lucas had a minor epiphany. Maybe he figured it's easier to cut a check than deal with the legal, logistical, and quasi-imperial entanglements involved in building a museum from scratch. Now, that almost seems to say that there's some halt on the museum construction. But we do have some recent evidence of him wanting to build a museum in Chicago. Lucas Cultural Arts Museum. Location to be Chicago, USA, year 2014, when this is spec. Status, competition, so we're looking for builders. So what it's going to look like, enormous and expensive and all that great stuff. And I think one of the links there I sent you, and I'll put it in the underneath the video. But yes, the museum, if built, it looks like he'll spend $1.2 billion on it. But here again, we're talking about will. What will he do? I want to understand how much money he has spent. No, just because you create Star Wars and Indiana Jones doesn't mean you get to say, I'm going to give most of $4 billion to charity and then only give, $500 million or so. It's a great thing. I don't have $500 million to give. But I think if I was going to say I'm going to give something, I'm going to give something and not make it sound like I'm going to give something. Yeah, I hate to say it, but there's a part of me that's always been bugged by this, and I think a lot of people sense that. The whole deal itself, $4 billion, seemed like a really cheap price for Star Wars, Indiana Jones, the whole Lucasfilm enterprise. Even Forbes here says, this is from January 2016, Intergalactic Finance, why the Star Wars franchise is worth nearly $10 billion to Disney. And it talks about, how much the movies can make, how much the toys can make, the video games, and all the cross-licensing. And really, if we look at all the films, what they made. Now, mind you, Star Wars and these older original films, Empire Strikes Back, these figures, when we look at Box Office Mojo here, and they're saying $775,000. That's not adjusted for inflation. It's probably a couple $1 billion the movie made. But let's just go at the prices they give here. Empire Strikes Back, $538. Return of the Jedi, $475. Phantom Menace, over $1 billion. Attack of the Clones, $649,000. Revenge of the Sith, $848,000. Let's look at some Indiana Jones. Raiders of the Lost Ark, $389,000. Again, not adjusted for inflation. Temple of Doom, $333,000. Last Crusade, $474,000. $786,000 for the worst movie, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Let's put these figures all together. You put all those, including non-adjusted for inflation figures together, the Star Wars films were proven to have made $4 billion just on movie sales. Indiana Jones won almost $2 billion just on movie ticket sales, for a total of $6 billion, over $6 billion, including unadjusted for inflation figures. This doesn't even include the games, the toys, and other ancillary products. The math does not add up. So in closing, George, I'd really just like to know, where did the $4 billion go? I mean, really, if you say you're going to give $4 billion away, let me know. Let the public know. Let us know what's going on. What are the life-changing things that are happening? Right? Wouldn't that be a great thing to look up to, a figure to look up to, a guy who made all this money making these great movies that everyone's loved, and when in his later years he also gave $4 billion away to change the lives of everyday people. For all I know, it's going to some oddball charity that maybe we wouldn't be too fond of that he's giving money to. Because maybe that's why some of these media figures, movie figures, say they're going to donate to charity, but don't actually tell us what charity they're giving to. Thanks for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel. Catch me on these alternate media sources.